What up guys, Fojo here, and today I'm coming to you with something crazy. We've actually been listened to, we've been heard, and they're making changes that we have been talking about for a while now, and they're actually going to implement some change that this channel has talked about for a while. New World's great about updating things and changing things, and I'm so happy to see that they're also going to be implementing this change as well as many other changes in the upcoming update. But real quick, if you guys could subscribe to the channel and like the video, that would help me out so much. About 90% of you guys are not subscribed, and if you could hit that bell, you can know when all the new videos come out and get the new content as soon as it gets there. Now, this change is something I've been talking about for a long time because we do a lot of luck videos on this channel. With that, we do a lot of time killing mobs, and a lot of these mobs are not leveled high enough for you to get weapons and armor from them that are very useful. And now they have changed that and are now working on making that a possibility. So, the new update came out, the PTR, there's all kinds of good changes, the Medley Fair event's coming out, and the new Barnacles of Black Powder dungeon is coming out, and all these great things are happening in the game. There's a ton of new things happening, and there's a ton of loot changes, and we might go over that a little bit later in the video, but for now we're going to go over the main part of the video, which is they have changed a lot of the mobs in the world to have a higher level to be able to drop these drops at 600. So I'll go through the list, that way we kind of get an idea of exactly who we're looking at here. But it's very exciting that they've actually done this and have decided to change these mobs to level 63 instead of 59 or 60, to where they weren't actually dropping anything useful. And now they'll actually drop things that you can use and were meant to be legendary in the first place, but just haven't had the option to drop anyways. So let's go through the list and see what we got. So the following list of named enemies have been updated to level 63 so that they have the potential to grant 600 gear score drops rewards for players. In Eden Grove, we have Banes, Kyle, and a Georgian. In Old Mirkgard Forest, we have the Unhallowed Soul of Mirkgard. In the Hilo Visage, we have High Priest Osagura. Balebane Maw, we have Articulon the Unshackled, and Mosrol the Herald. In Caminus, there is Caminus Gatelord and Overseer Levi, or Levi, not sure which. In Spilio Cavern, there's Ziwang the Immovable and Dao Shen the Unstoppable. In East Alerman, there is Corrupted Executor Luca. West Alerman, there is Pitlord Dehi. In the Congregation, there is Mirepaw. Lambent Muskeg, the Blight Bringer. Maria's Rest, there's Smoothbore Samuel. Ska Mokai Guy. Thorn of the Heartwood. In Serenity Monastery, the Nasher. Sky Song Crypt, Ivan the Inevitable, Mordecai the Mortician, Slayer Roslyn, and Farley. And so having all of these mobs now be able to be spawning in at level 63 and drop level 600 items is a really huge change. This also means that all of these mobs also have the ability to help you raise your gear score from 500 to 600 once you get to 60. So this is also a great way to farm that as well at this point. Before there weren't a lot of good mobs for that, but now you could actually probably go to one of these and get quite a few drops. And depending on what drop you want, you could probably hit a few of these and get some upgrades for your expertise. So if you're not quite 600 gear score yet, this might be a new way to do that and farm that up a little bit, other than just old chest runs and dungeons. But that's the huge change I wanted to talk about. That means that these are all new mobs that are actually, that means they've updated these mobs to be level 63 and have the ability to drop these items, changing them completely as to what they are. It's something I've talked about ever since I started doing the luck videos about drops and what you can get from these guys. I'm very happy to see it finally be instated in the game and be a part of it. It makes you really feel heard about the game, that there's changes being made that you may have helped happen. I like to think that we made a change here and helped move New World forward, get things in a positive direction. But there's a lot of other cool things in this update. Like I talked about, there's the Medley Fair and there's the Barnacles and Black Powder update. They're introducing a new skill, which is the music skill. You're able to play like 5 different instruments. It's going to be interesting. I'm not sure how that's going to go. Not, I mean, there's going to be bonuses you can get for playing certain songs correctly before you go and do certain things like harvesting or bonus XP and stuff like that. So this can be interesting to see that. But for now, those are kind of the main huge points. They're actually doing a ton of fixes in this update. So they're doing a rebalance to perks and loot. The loot update is going to be huge. Basically, everything will be rotated around and moved to where you have a higher chance of getting better items and you'll have a better chance of getting better perks as well. And so there's also, when you roll an item, you will also get a better chance of getting better items when you roll items. So this is definitely a huge update and a lot is happening. So if you are not playing New World right now, this may actually be the time to come back and check it out. There is a lot going on and it's definitely be worth checking out the new content and maybe even checking out some of these mobs that weren't able to drop items that were useful before but will now. And some of these items may be better than other items that are in the game that we haven't been able to access yet. So there's a lot of changes going into New World. I think they're going to try and rebalance how people use perks and maybe make some perks more viable to use so it's not so much of a meta. It'll be nice to see things change around a little bit in New World and maybe shake things up. But I would say if you have been questioning coming back, this is the time to do so. And it's just in time to get ready for the fall update so you can play a little bit now, catch up, and get ready for that because that will be a ton of content dropping, I'm guessing. A whole new territory, new quests, new enemies. So I would say if you're going to get back into the game, this is the time to do so. But you can go through the notes yourself. They are the PTR notes, so some of this is going to change depending on what they find in the PTR. But I think overall it's a lot of great changes and there's always going to be bugs, but I think they'll find a lot of them and get them fixed before we have to deal with it. So I'm looking forward to this update a lot. I think there's a lot of really good stuff in here and it's going to change the way New World is working right now and it'll make it almost a new game in a lot of aspects. You have to test out what all the different things are going to be. Like there's going to be new loot, new things to roll, so it's going to be interesting to see how things shake out. But that's really all I have right now. I appreciate you guys being here and listening to this. If you could like the video and subscribe to the channel, that would help me out a lot. I really appreciate that. And if you could also leave a comment letting me know what you think about this update and what you think about there being new mobs that are actually going to be level 63 so we can actually farm them and find out if the weapons they're dropping are super useful, kind of useful, not useful at all. But let me know what you think about it and I will have more videos out soon. I hope to see you there.